Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna do a top quality job on this Nissan Rogue here. This is 2013. If you have a similar model, no problem, same thing. I am gonna give you a torque spec. Take your time. Best job done is take your time, do it right, do it first time. That's the ideal job that you could probably do. And I'm gonna show you a part number and the brand that I'm gonna be using, Evolution. That's the brake pad. So there is a part number here if you guys need the information on that part number right there. I'm gonna show you tools I have, greasing, whole bunch of stuff I have there. But inside these brake pads, these will cost you about like $55. You'll get a set of brake pads in there. You'll have a hardware kit, okay? We're gonna use all that. Anyways, long story short, take your time, do it right, follow my instruction. Any Nissan, doesn't matter, as long as it's an electrical caliper, it's gonna probably be similar or somewhat, okay? But this one, I'm gonna give you a torque spec. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of beginning guide here. So what we're gonna do is, you can either remove the bolt up here and bolt down there, both of them, and the caliper will come out. But in our case, we're gonna just remove the bottom one, and the pin will, it's like a bolt pin that will slide out. And the top one, we're not gonna remove, and you can just slide it out of there, okay? But let me show you the tools and everything you're gonna need. So a few things you're gonna need is, first of all, you're gonna need a 14mm socket with a 3/8 ratchet. You're gonna need a flathead screwdriver or small pry bar, a C-clamp or a compress tool to compress the piston. I have a small wire brush here, and I have a torque wrench. Got grease here. This is gonna be for the back of the brake pad. And I got this silicone grease as well, okay? So, and a small little rag, okay? So we're gonna get this job started immediately. Okay, so to begin, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take our ratchet here, we're gonna go counterclockwise, and we're gonna loosen up this bolt. Sometimes there will be, if their bolt does not want to turn, it's jammed up, that means your sliding pin, because part of it is jammed up. You need to replace the caliper, unless you can figure out how to get just the bracket here with the new sliding pins. Okay, there it is. So the top one, like I said, we're not gonna take off. And because the reason is, let me move this up a little bit, because we should be able to lift this up, okay? If this doesn't come out, this is where your screwdriver or pry bar is gonna come handy. Just pry it out, okay? And you can also use this to compress the piston in there a little bit, but I try not to do that. But anyways, once you do that, you're gonna lift this up and you're gonna slide this off. All right, so what I like to do next is, while we have this here, I like to clean off. Let me bring my camera up a little bit. And there goes my light. So I am gonna clean up the pin there, and also the sliding pin right there. So they both are clean. And we're gonna lubricate both of these before we install anything back together. So let me set up my light again to remove the brake pads. Okay, next step, you're gonna pull out the brake pads. Notice these brake pads came out fairly easy. A lot of brake pads, you need a force. You need to put your screwdriver between the pad and the rotor and get it out of there. Notice I am not changing the discs because customer didn't request discs. Anyways, next step, we're gonna use our flathead screwdriver. We're gonna remove the hardware kit. Very simple, guys. All right, after that, take your time. Clean the surface where the hardware kit is gonna sit. Usually the bottom one will be more dirty than the top one. This one doesn't look so bad, so if yours is looking crazy, make sure you clean it, use a mask, because all this brake dust is going everywhere. So this is fair enough, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go get the hardware kit and we're gonna install the hardware kit. Okay, so inside the bag of this hardware kit, you're gonna have probably 8 pieces. You see the wideness here, and look at the wideness on that one. It's not as equal as that one. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna take the old one, match it up. So it's the one is more wider, that's the one you're gonna use. Then you toss the rest of the stuff on the floor. So this is very simple. And this goes in the center, okay? Make sure it does not hit the disc. Make sure it's nice and centered. Pull that one out. If you're gonna retry, it's only gonna sit in one spot because it does have small little pieces that sit on the edges of that bracket. Make sure it's nice and flush. You could tap it Nice and flush. We're gonna do the same thing for the top. So these little guys right there are gonna go against on the inner edge of the bracket. So you cannot go wrong, okay? Tap, 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 tap. Bada bing, bada boom. What I like to do next is I like to put small amount of grease right here where the brake pad is gonna touch this hardware kit. Try not to get any grease on the disc itself. So all 4 spots, a little bit of greasing, so your brake pad can move freely. Okay, next step is I am gonna go get my brake pads. All right, so next step is our brake pads. Notice the brake wear indicator. I like to have that in the bottom so when the car goes reverse, it scrapes. So make sure your brake pads sit in there nicely and easily. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong pad. Let me go get another one. All right. I had 2 pads with the brake wear indicator sensor. I do not want that because only one is gonna go on. Okay, we have trouble putting these on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna file a little bit. I'm gonna show you what you're gonna file. Okay, let me see if I can get the inside brake pad easier than the outside one. So same trouble on both of them. Okay, I'll retry the brake pad. So if your brake pad does not fit, you're gonna file a little bit here, a little bit there, and a little bit here. But I noticed in my case, that wasn't the issue. It's just that new hardware kit is very strong. So I do need to put a little bit of force inward. Okay, but your brake pad should go in. To push it in, it should be nice and easy. Okay, you see that? It should be nice and easy, and it should be able to move freely. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the inside brake pad. Okay, I have both of my brake pads in. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna compress the piston. So let's come up a little bit. So what I like to do is when I compress the piston, I like to clean the boot a little bit here. Clean the dirt, debris. Even if you want, take a little bit of lube. Just put it around the piston, not too much, just enough. So it just gives a little bit freedom for it to move around the seal. So anyway, that's done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our compressor tool here. If you have a C-clamp, make sure you put a brake pad in. But mine, as you see, it's like a rounded shape there, perfect size that fits on it. It's oval, and that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, next step, a little bit more lubrication. So this is where I take my silicone greaser. This is pretty good. Okay, what I like to do with this is put it on this sliding pin. If you get too much on it, that's all right. I'm gonna show you a small trick. If you put too much on it, just take your other pin, just rub against each other, and there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. One more little thing, okay? We're gonna go back down on the brake pads. Now, what we're gonna do is little bit of greasing, okay? Little bit of greasing on this brake pad. This is gonna give it a long life. The pin's gonna be able to, caliper's gonna be able to slide and slick better, reduce noise. Same thing on the inside of the inner pad, on the outside and not on the contact where it touches the disc. And that's it. That's how simple it is. Now we're gonna take our caliper here. You're gonna take the sliding pin, slide that in. Should be nice and free. Make sure your boot catches onto it. It should go on nicely, easily. Make sure this side of the boot is good. And we're gonna take the sliding pin, the bolt, and we're gonna put that in. Now I'm gonna go get my torque wrench and we're gonna torque this bad boy. Bada bing, bada boom, we're all done. Make sure the rubber boot goes on this side, just like that side. Alright guys, I got my torque wrench here, 25 foot-pound. That's what we're gonna do. So make sure you tighten this to 25 foot-pound. Okay, but if you don't have a torque wrench, it's alright, just hand tighten it. Just make sure you tighten it really good. Don't go overboard either. You don't want to snap the bolt. So there you go. 25 foot-pound is easy. That's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Make sure you turn your disc Nothing is rubbing against the hardware kit. Anyway, bye bye.